Hey loves, welcome back to Day Spills Tea. I, of course, am the lovely Day. And today is the day that we all knew was coming. We just wasn't sure which day of the week it was going to be. It's the day that Cardi B is victorious in her lawsuit of defamation against fellow YouTuber Tasha K. So we all understand what has happened here. Just to kind of give a very, very brief recap, Tasha K posted umpteen videos about Cardi B with a lot of content that was obviously proven to be untrue. Cardi B reached out to her several times requesting that she stop making these videos, requesting that she pull the videos down. Tasha K refused to do so. Cardi B sent her a cease and desist, or sent her, I think, multiple cease and desists, which Tasha K said she would wipe herself with them. And Cardi B said, screw it. Guess I gotta take you to court. Tasha K tried to countersue and said, well, you know what? You're stressing me out. Your fans are attacking me and I can't deal with it anymore. And so she tried to sue Cardi and the judge was like, girl, bye. So last year, the judge threw Tasha K's case out. And that meant that Tasha K had zero leverage going into this particular hearing. Tasha K was again warned repeatedly by the judge, by her attorneys, even by Cardi B, let's settle this. Tasha K refused, and so we ended up in court. They ended up playing all sorts of her video evidence, and the jury has determined that she was liable. So before we jump into all of it, and I'm not going to hold y'all long because I don't have any new information. All of what I'm going to say y'all have already heard before. I'm just going to give you a little bit of my opinion on it, and I hope that's cool. But before I do, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. You know I do it for the love. I need the attention. I need affirmation and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not even going to lie about it. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Show me some love. Leave some comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know how you felt when you heard the verdict and all of that kind of stuff. If you're a fellow YouTuber, let me know if you're going to change anything about the way you report the tea. Because I'm curious. I might be a little more careful myself moving forward. If you haven't subscribed already and you've been peeking in and enjoying your girl, go ahead and do the right thing. Like, it's already free, so at least go ahead and just subscribe. Those of you who are subscribed, you know I love you. Okay, so what I said was that Tasha K was found to be liable, and it's important to use the word liable instead of guilty because we need to separate civil from criminal. She's not guilty of anything. Well, she is, but technically she's not. So she's not guilty of anything because she wasn't charged criminally in any way. This is, of course, a civil suit. And the jury was basically to determine a verdict of whether or not she was liable of defamation and those other things or not liable. And so they determined that based on the 3 counts, she was actually liable. And the 3 counts, as we know, were defamation, invasion of privacy, which is funny that Cardi has an album, and then also intentional infliction of emotional distress. And so the jury feels that Cardi B's attorneys were able to prove that Tasha K was liable of all those things, which of course means that Cardi B is eligible for damages that Tasha K is going to have to pay. So, and the reason I wanted to make sure that we separate out the criminal from the civil is because this is only civil, but watching the lead attorney today, he reminded us that there could still be some criminal charges. So we're all aware that there were several points that it appears that Tasha K was lying, i.e. perjuring herself, which is a criminal act. So she very well could face criminal charges. That would be like, so on top of losing this case and having to pay Cardi B, there's the possible outcome that she could face criminal charges of perjury, which means she could be back in court, which means she could actually have fines and penalties or do time or whatever comes with the penalties of perjury. So that's a really, really scary thought. And I really, really hope that they considered all the possible outcomes before baby girl got on that stand and said all the crap she said. Like all the crap. Ugh. So from what I understand, during the closing arguments before the jury made their decision, it sounds like your girl Olga, she wasn't gonna let this judge keep on saying she needs to go back to school. So according to the lead attorney, she came out swinging. She came out trying to pull out some more tricks She tried to basically say that Cardi B's therapist wasn't flown out to address her issues with with Tasha K, but instead the therapist was flown out to address her issues with Offset and all his cheating and everything like that. Which I'm sure for some of the members of the jury, they were probably like, that could be true. I mean, I would have to think that if they're taking their job seriously, they probably considered that. But Cardi B's attorneys were able to give a rebuttal, and apparently they were able to overcome all the objections from Tasha K's attorneys. So once the jury went back to deliberate, they actually stopped and asked the judge 2 questions. And the first question is an interesting one. The first question was, were the medical records verified? So apparently there was a picture shown of Cardi B that showed what looked like, to everyone who saw it, a cold sore, okay, i.e. herpes, okay? But in addition to that, it had also already been proven, and Tasha K had already admitted that she sometimes used doctored photos. So the photo is kind of worthless. Like, the credibility on it is completely shot. But apparently it still sparked some doubt in some of those jurors' minds, to where they wanted to be sure that the medical records were in fact verified and that Cardi B absolutely did not have herpes. And so the judge was able to confirm that yes, the medical records were actually verified. And to me, it's kind of like, are they really questioning what's real? Okay, I'm catching my lipstick. It's cute. Some of you, sidebar, some of you asked about my lipstick in the last video. It is by the brand Loving My Beauty, and you can check them out at lovingmybeauty.us. I like them very much. They're liquid mattes and they last and they wear pretty really well, and the colors are really, really nicely pigmented. Okay, anyways, I lost my train of thought. So the other issue is, the other question that the jury had is that they wanted to know if the judge had the ability to require the videos be taken down. And I was watching Dennis Byron, and he was like, I think that means that, you know, this might be a win for Tasha K. And my thoughts were, I think that means that we got a hater on the jury. Like, I felt like there had to be someone in the jury who maybe doesn't like Cardi B, or just had some really, really serious doubts. Like, it felt like they were trying to be merciful, which I can understand. You know, it felt like they were trying to be merciful and say, well, maybe we can convince her to just take down those videos, and then, you know, Cardi B is already rich, so she don't need this woman's money. Like, I feel like that's what they were thinking. And I also feel like, I believe in mercy, but I also feel like, as haughty and arrogant as we have heard that Tasha K has been during this trial, and as haughty and arrogant and brutal as we've seen her be on her channel, I don't know that mercy is due here. Because I personally feel like if the damages due are not significant enough for her to feel some pressure and feel the pain, then her behavior is not going to change. If her channel remains up and she continues making this same type of money, and her audience continues to grow because of this, and she only has to pay a fraction of her net worth, no lesson will be learned, and the behavior will simply continue. And I would hate to see that happen, because I just would hate to see additional people slandered, and I would hate to see other people going through those life stressors and all of that, and I just really, really wouldn't want to see it. So when I heard that they asked that question, I felt like, somebody a hater. But again, maybe they were just trying to be merciful. But from what I heard one person who was in the courtroom say that the judge told them that he couldn't, but they could. But infamous Sylvia and Dennis Byron both said that the judge actually said that he was not going to answer that question because he didn't want to influence their decision either way, which makes a little more sense to me. Anyways, so they went back and they deliberated, and of course they came back with the decision that Tasha K was indeed liable. And so then, of course, they needed to discuss the damages. And like we talked about the other day, the damages was going to be things like her attorney's fees, which we were told today was in the hundreds of thousands. Her medical fees, which according to all of the sources I watched, was $250,000, but that still needs to be verified. And then of course, you know, her punitive damages and, you know, things like that, her general pain and suffering, that sort of thing. So the jury came back with $1 million for the general pain and suffering, so to speak, and then the $250,000 for the medical bills. But they have yet to determine what the damages will be for the additional punitive damages, if I'm explaining that correctly. Basically what I'm saying is it's looking like it's going to be $1.25 million, and it might be some more on top of that. Like, it's very likely to be some more on top of that. So I don't know what Tasha K's actual net worth is. I feel like she got more than $1 million. Like, the way she be bragging and the way she be talking, I feel like she got more than $1 million. So I don't know how much of an impact this is going to have on her and on her behavior, but it doesn't really end there, you know. So she's still facing the possibility that the court could come back and discuss perjury. But there was also that tax agent that was in the court. So according to infamous Sylvia, and she's the only one dropping the exclusive tea that I've seen so far, Tasha K hasn't paid taxes on an individual level or on a professional level for just about 3 years. So I don't know if she has been pocketing that money, if she has it saved up or invested somewhere where she can pull it out and pay it off, or what's going on with that. But I do know that the IRS is going to get their money. So I don't know how much she's going to end up paying Cardi B, but whatever that is, she's going to still have to pay that IRS. And that's a problem. Like, I don't ever want to have those kinds of issues. Like, no, not at all. Anyways, okay, did I miss anything? Yeah, that's all I have. So that's really what it is. You know, Cardi B was victorious. Tasha K had every opportunity to pull out of this. Didn't take it. So now there's so much more at stake. All the bravado, you know, was just so unnecessary. But I'm not in her mind. I'm not in her world. I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. I hope so. Anyways, that's all I got. Thank y'all for being patient, because I know y'all already heard everybody else's tea and y'all probably be like, she late. But, you know, I do what I can. Anyways, bye.